Man, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning right now. Just got off of work. I gotta do this video. It's very important that I do these videos. Maybe asking why am I recording so late? Because this is the only time where it's quiet in my apartment to record these videos. Because, as you know, in my previous videos, I have a neighbor who doesn't leave the apartment, and he just is up there making noise, walking around, stomping around. And I don't want that to impede on what I'm trying to say to y'all. It's going to interrupt me and distract me and aggravate me while on camera. And on top of that too, I don't want to pick up that noise of this person walking around doing whatever he's doing upstairs, you know so but that's the thing. It's like I don't want to have these obstacles and make excuses for myself to not film these YouTube videos, because it's very important for me to get out the word to you guys. So yeah, so I'm here. Okay, and that's what's important. That's the main thing. Hope you guys are doing good, by the way. I hope since my last upload, you guys have life has improved for you. That's the main goal. We all should be striving for, to improve and to move closer in our faith towards God. How have I been? Oh man, these last few weeks have been they've been interesting, very enlightening. I've learned a lot. I gained a whole bunch of new subscribers, by the way, and I thank you guys for that. It's it's very refreshing to see that after all these years of me putting out content on YouTube, that something is finally hitting, something is finally working, because I'm speaking the honest truth about my faith and what I'm going through, and this is resonating with y'all. I appreciate that. But to go back, these past few weeks have been very interesting and very enlightening, and I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning a lot about people and about the world as a whole. And it's just all of it is a blessing. The good and the bad. They're all just lessons from God to show me and to mold me to the person that I'm destined to become. It's all for a reason. It's all for a purpose. I saw a video recently from another YouTuber that says that you should be thankful for all the suffering that you go through in this life, because the suffering is what's going to make you stronger and make you a warrior for God's kingdom. As the saying goes, if you faint in the days of adversity, your strength is weak. Okay, that's from Matthew. I put it somewhere and I forgot which one that was. This is from Matthew. But anyway, before we get into this topic, okay, so what are we talking about today? Today we are talking about the gifts that God has given you and how to utilize them. Okay, but before we begin this video, I just want to do a little prayer. A little short prayer, nothing too crazy, but our God is good. Our God is great. Praise be to God, Elohim, because there is none greater and there's none more worthy of praise. That's a little prayer that I came up with myself, that I say every day, okay, just to show my appreciation and to honor God the best way I can, because as you live your life, the main thing you should be doing is honoring God above anything else. Once you have that inclination in your mind, always, your decision making becomes a little bit more clearer and less selfish. Okay, and one of the best ways to honor God is to take full advantage of the gifts that God has given you. Okay, and that's what we will be talking about in today's video. All right, so let's talk about it. So writing, I would say, is my main talent. Okay, it's my strongest skill set, but it's much deeper than that. Okay, I just instinctually know how to tell stories that provide a lesson for those who listen. Stories are how we connect with one another as humans. Okay, and stories as a whole help to form our belief systems and our values, because stories form the foundation of civilization. I can go on and on and on forever about the practice of storytelling, okay? But, that's just another video for another time. As a child, the first book that I was given was a children's book of Bible stories. And the four main stories that really, really captivated me were the story of David versus Goliath, the story of Joseph, the story of Moses freeing the Jews from Egypt, and the story of Jesus. I remember as a child, I would beg my mom every night to read me these stories, because they were just so captivating. They were just so visual. And, for me, they were more than just stories. They were experiences that I was having as my mom read them. And I was learning the lessons as she read them. Okay. And, kudos to my mom for her storytelling capabilities, because those stories are forever embedded in who I am. And those stories help to form the foundation of my writing and storytelling. When I write, okay, my main goal is to make you feel like you're in the stories with the characters, okay? And along with that, okay, I want to make sure that what I'm writing, what I'm creating, what I'm putting out there for you to read or for you to watch when it comes to my films, I want you to take away a lesson from it, okay? A lesson that you can use to improve your life and make your life better. So those four stories, okay, the way I see it, were the overall spark that allowed me to form the foundation of my storytelling. Those four stories were the gift from God that allowed me to become a good writer and good storyteller. With the foundation that God has given me through writing, okay, I was able to expand and explore more talents, okay? Those talents include directing, editing, photography, music production, starting and running a business, acting when I feel like it, okay, because acting is stressful. You see, all of those talents that I was able to explore and branch off from writing, okay, all those things came naturally to me because of the storytelling aspect of what writing represents. But it's much deeper than that, okay? When I say storytelling, okay, what I really mean is that God has given me the gift of the word. With the gift of the word, okay, especially when you wield it justly and unselfishly, there is nothing under the sun that God will not allow you to create. The gift of the word is meant to be shared. It's designed to be shared, okay? Because the gift of the word is meant to build up, not tear down. Before I truly understood this, I instinctually just wanted to share all my gifts that I knew that God gave me with people. I wanted everyone around me to feel the excitement and the power that came with just creating so freely. Like, I was given this gift, and I knew I was given this gift, and I just wanted to just open up people's eyes to realize that they could just have the life that they want if they would stop being scared and just took risks and just create. Listen, we've all been given a spark of creativity from God himself. However, and unfortunately, most people in this society are very scared to explore their creativity. But I never was. I never really cared to be scared. I knew I was given something that many people hide away. So why would I want to bury that? The world needed to know. The world needed to know what I was creating, how I created. And I hoped, in my naive mind, that this would open up people's eyes to the potential of what they could become. I wanted people to truly open up their eyes to the gifts that lay deep below them that God has given them. That's what I wanted. I wanted people to open up their eyes to their gifts. However, Most people didn't take too lightly to the outwardly display of my gifts and my talents, okay? And those people were people that I loved, my family, my friends. They thought I was being boastful. They thought I was being prideful. They thought I was being selfish. They thought maybe, I was insecure and that I was fishing for attention. They could not see the vision. They could not see the vision that God has given me, that I was clearly conveying with my words, clearly conveying with the art that I was creating. Like I said, they thought I was being insecure and fishing for attention. Listen, I got enough attention growing up, okay? And quite frankly, I don't like attention because I find people very, very annoying. Because for whatever reason, people still need validation. I could care less about validation. I'm not a child, okay? I'm not in high school anymore, but most people are still in this high school mentality, okay? Needing people to give them some attention, make them feel like they're alive. I don't care about any of that. What I do because I want to see people progress. Okay, I want humanity to move forward. It's never about me. It's always about the bigger picture. It's always about God's bigger plan. I share my gifts out of love. Love for my family and love for my friends. It would be selfish for me to keep these gifts to myself and not share it with the ones that I love, or so I thought. So instead of embracing my gifts and what I had to offer, the people that I loved the most decided to tear me down instead of build me up. I heard from one family member that said, you know what, Phazon, I don't know what he's doing. He's not doing anything with his life, okay? He's not making any money. He's going nowhere. And this was from a family member that I loved very, very much. So yeah, it hurt. That statement really hurt. I had one friend who I saw as a brother verbally berate me over text message and attack my character. And that one really crushed me too. And then I had another friend who publicly called me out and publicly tried to shame me in front of his friends, in front of his people, to make himself look much larger by calling me arrogant, calling me selfish, because I was living a life that he wished he could, because he made choices that pushed him back while I was moving forward, And that hurt. They all hurt, okay? But I'll keep it a buck with you, okay? I stay 10 toes. I stood my ground. Okay, you think I'm gonna let anyone talk to me type of way? Listen, I may be a writer, I may be an artist, and an intellectual, but at the end of the day, I'm a man, and I'm a black man in America. If you talk to me type of way, let's keep it a buck. In the world of men, prepare to get your jaw rocked. Okay? It is what it is. Okay? It should never get to that. It should never get to that. And it didn't. Okay? But I definitely put the fear of God in all of them. And they backed away, but, the damage was done. Okay? It was done. Because those who can hurt you the most are the ones that love you the most. Let me rephrase that. Those that can hurt you the most are those that you love the most. Yes, I defended myself and sure that built up a little bit of confidence, okay? But ultimately my self-esteem was lowered. I couldn't comprehend why the people that I loved the most would attack me in such a way. Envy could, have something to do with it, but my mind cannot conceive the notion of envy. I generally don't have any jealousy for anyone, because for you to be jealous or for you to be envious of anyone means that you don't appreciate the blessings that God has given you, and God will take them away. So just to continue, I began to question myself. I began to doubt myself, and weakness started to form within me. And this was foreign to me. I never felt this way before. I've always been a very self-assured individual, but this really rocked me. These attacks really rocked me, and I just could not, I could just not comprehend any of this frailty that was creeping in, that I realized that I had. And I retreated. I retreated in myself. I retreated into myself. I isolated myself for months. I got off social media. I didn't create anything. In my solitude, anger and hatred began to fester. Anger and hatred towards those that I loved that attacked me, but more so anger and hatred towards myself for being naive and not understanding human nature. You gotta understand, even when it comes to the people that you love, you have to remember they are still human, and humans succumb to human nature, and it doesn't matter who they are. When you let your guard down, when you show any type of openings, weaknesses, vulnerabilities, whatever you want to call it, right? It doesn't matter. Friends or family, they will attack you 100% of the time. This is a very unfortunate flaw in human nature, but it is what it is. And because of human nature, you cannot rely on humans, but because of human nature, you can always rely on God. And in my moment of weakness, I turn to God to guide me, because you can only trust God to guide you in the right directions, not humans. And God guided me to the parables of talents, Matthew 25, verse 14 through 30. In these verses, Jesus is surrounded by his followers as he tells them the story of the master and his 3 servants. In the story, the master represents God, okay? And the servants represent followers of Christ. The talents in the parable is money. However, that is just a metaphor for the unique gifts and skills that God has entrusted us to utilize for him. The first servant was given 5 talents, the second servant was given 3 talents, and the third servant was given 1 talent. So in the parable, the master was leaving town to go do business. However, before he left town, he instructed each of his servants to invest their talents wisely so that when he returns, he can reap the profits of their investments. The first 2 servants boldly invested their talents and doubled what they were initially given. So when the master returned, he was happy. He was greatly pleased with their efforts, and he rewarded these 2 servants handsomely for their hard work. Them doubling their talents represents that when we fully utilize our gifts that God has given us, okay, they will multiply for God's glory, and in return, God will graciously reward us for our efforts. Now, the third servant was very insecure about the 1 talent he was given. So instead of investing that talent, he buried it in the ground, and when the master returned, he gave it back to him. Now, this greatly pissed the master off when he returned, because he saw this and he was like, bro, you didn't even try. What's wrong with you? I gave you something of value and you didn't even try to utilize it. You're wasting my time, wasting everyone's time. The master responded very harshly to this, okay? Calling him wicked and lazy for not even trying to invest the money. Now, this is what the master did. Seeing that this third servant was so lazy, okay, he took away that 1 talent and gave it to the first servant, because he knew the first servant would better utilize that talent instead of the third servant. And lastly, the master wasn't done yet with the third servant, okay? He banished him to outer darkness, okay? Basically hell, okay? Where there would be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. I know, it's a pretty harsh judgment, but yeah, man, God doesn't play around when it comes to the gifts that he gives you. He wants you to use them, not waste his time. And you see, in this story, I sort of related to the last servant, okay? During my moment of weakness, okay, I let insecurity build up inside of me, and I got scared to use my gifts and use my talents that God has given me. I hid myself. I hid my talents out of fear and out of fear of criticism. I buried parts of me and the potential opportunities that could have arose if I didn't have any fear, if I didn't believe in this false humility that I gave myself. The parable really reminded me that God will issue
harsh punishments on the people he's given gifts to that do not use his gifts. There is no turning back from that. If you forsake the gifts that God has given you, he will forsake you. He will severely punish you, and he will take those gifts away. God does not want you to hide who you are out of fear. God does not want you to hide the gifts and talents that he has given you. No. God wants you to utilize those gifts that he's given you for his glory. My Father in heaven deliberately gave me the gift of the word to advance his kingdom here on earth. What? Do you care more about the opinions of people in the world than the opinions of God himself? People are fickle. They change their minds constantly. But God doesn't change his mind. No. When you don't use the gifts that he's given you, you're basically saying that you don't appreciate what he's given you, and you will be judged in your final days. It's that black and white, unfortunately. Do not let weakness into your mind and the fear of the opinions of naysayers and scoffers get to you like they did in my younger years. No, I wasted so much time worrying about what people thought of me when it came to my gifts and my talents, and I regret that because I definitely could have been a lot farther in my life if I didn't let these people get to me. And that's my own fault. It really is. And I have to hold myself accountable for that. Don't make the same mistakes that I did. And just remember this. If those around you are not in support of your gifts and your talents, they are trying to bring you down to hell with them. At the end of the day, God is pleased when you courageously step out and use your gifts. When you use your gifts for the glory of God, not only are you blessing yourself, but you're blessing others. What you're doing is that you're opening up the eyes of many who want to be just like you, but they're too afraid to step out, and you represent an ideal that God has set forth here on earth. That's what you represent. When you use your gifts, you bring more people to God's side. And guess what? God will handsomely reward you for your efforts. Trust me, he will.
You know, I'll be completely transparent with you. It's been very difficult for me to film this video and work on this upload. There's been a lot going on in my personal life that's really testing my resolve and testing my faith. And, I literally, this is my third time, within the week filming this. Okay, I've been filming this over 3 different days, and this is like the third take of this project. And yesterday I was dealing with something, and it made me realize that I'm not as strong as I think I am. I thought that I was like this guy with all this bravado, but I was tested. I really was tested, and that day I saw how weak I truly was. I really questioned this entire project. All these YouTube videos I made these past few months. And I woke up this morning, and things became a little bit more clearer. That weakness and the moments of low you go through is there for you to become stronger. It is supposed to make you stronger. I was weak yesterday, but today I'm much stronger. That's the thought that came into my mind when I woke up. Who I was yesterday doesn't matter anymore. It's who I am today. And all these difficulties and all these struggles are designed for you to strengthen your resolve in God and to grow in faith in God. That's the whole point. Suffering happens for a reason. And suffering is designed to make you stronger, and it's designed to bring you closer to Him. This video was about gifts, and how it's important for you not to squander those gifts. And it truly does take strength to utilize God's gifts. It does. Because many people are too scared and too ashamed to step out in faith and show the world the blessings that God has bestowed upon them. So to those who know they are gifted and those that know they are talented,
I just really want you to know that God has chosen you. You are unique. You are special. And use those gifts, use those talents for God's glory. Honor Him by using your gifts. Don't waste the time, man. Don't. We are merely fresh and we're here for a glimpse, a blink, a whisper. We're not here for very long. And in that time that we have, it's best for us to showcase what we have been given. That's the whole point. Because us using our gifts, us showing the world our talent, that is God's way of letting the world know that He's real by speaking through us. Creativity, art, all of that, that is a spark from God. God is the creator. What are artists? Creators. And we've been given a spark from Him, because remember, at the end of the day, we are made in His image. He speaks through us through our work. He whispers to the world through our work. So I challenge you, all of you who watch and see this video, I challenge you to not live in fear anymore. I challenge you to become stronger than the weak version of yourself that you were in your previous days. Because every day that you use your gifts, use your talents, you grow stronger in faith in our Lord, and it pleases Him greatly. And like I said before, He will reward you handsomely for stepping out in faith and using His gifts for His glory. That is a guarantee. That is a promise. He will not forsake you if you do not forsake Him. Anyway, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, my subscribers who watch this video, just know that God is with you always, okay? And God will never let you down. Trust in Him, believe in Him, because He believes in you, and He will never not believe in you. Take care, God bless, and I will see you in the next video.